by the things that they have done with those festivals. Okay, uh, so what is the significance of Diwali is like it's a it's a theme that really is a symbolizes of triumph of gnana. Gnana is inward knowledge, illumination of true knowledge over the darkness within, right? So this kind of wisdom reveals us that the light we kindle externally is a metaphor for the internal journey of self-realization. That's the essence of Diwali. Now, coming to Halloween, it has evolved from ancient rituals intended to confront and embrace the mysterious aspects of life and death, a ritualistic acknowledgement of the darkness within and around us. While it become more about costumes and fun today, the concept of darkness it celebrates can still serve as a subtle reminder of the shadow side of life that complements the light we have. Right? Beautiful, right? So there's so much about how it has started with observing October 31st uh, as the uh, real uh, what do you say the day for the it's a Celtic festival, okay, particularly Samhain, Samhain. See, it's a festival marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of the winter, a time associated with darkness and cold. See, this cells believed um, on this night the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead are blurred, allowing spirits to return to the earth. To ward off those harmful effects, harmful spirits, people lit bonfires and wore costumes to disguise themselves. See how interesting that is? Then, as the Christianity spread and more people took it, so somehow blended this with All Hallows Eve. Hallows, Hallows Eve, the night before All Saints' Day. See, that is how it has evolved. So by 19th century, Halloween became more of a community-based, family-friendly celebration, and especially in North America, where many customs are as very famous today, such as costume wearing and trick or treating, and they became popular. Okay, so that's a kind of history I learned, So if people know more than that, or if something is wrong there, please come and tell me. Okay? But this is something new I learned, right? So, first of all, there's a question: why do we need festivals? Are we using festivals as a crutch to joy because we are not really inner happiness or joyful? That's why we need these occasions to celebrate and lift our spirits and then go back to our misery again. Right? That's what I saw in India. People are very unhappy, very miserable, but then when the festival comes, they kind of celebrate the festival and they, at least temporarily, they're elevated in that mood. So that's what I saw. And on this, it's worth to note down what J. Krishnamurti talked about. He said, festivals are temporary, lifting the spirits, but humans can be joyful by knowing themselves, and then festivals are just entertainment. That's for me. I do participate in the festivals, but they're entertainment. But I try to focus on what was the deeper meaning in the culture, right? See, this question that we put in why his festivals is really is a profound perspective of festivals and joy, especially uh, somebody like Krishnamurti talking about. He viewed festivals as a temporary escape, a brief suspension of daily struggles. That this is a temporary thing that lift our spirits. Okay, however, such joy, while vibrant, is fleeting. So Krishnamurti is saying this is real and lasting joy doesn't come from occasional celebrations or external events. It arises from within through a deep understanding, awareness of oneself. Right? That's a very profound way of looking at it. So, in his view, festivals serve as a form of entertainment that reflect human dependency on external sources for happiness. See, this joy is conditional, reliant on something outside of oneself, whether it's a festival, a holiday, or a special occasion. So, to Krishnamurti, this is a diversion from discovering the continuous, unconditioned joy that comes from self knowledge. So, I have a guest here. Let me see. Okay, Meva. So it's a question of don't escape, but try your pure joy. It is. Hi, Mabel.
Hi, Dr. Ram, how are you?
I am good. See, getting into the deep meaning of these festivals.
Yes, yes, yeah. I have a point. I have something to share regarding this festival because
Okay.
I was raised as a Christian,
Yeah.
Christian Catholic.
Yeah.
So in this thing, Halloween, we celebrate Halloween at the same time with different contents. So for
Yeah.
example, in November 1st and 2nd, we will celebrate all our loved ones who are not here on earth.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
through that we will go to the cemetery.
Yeah.
We will offer we
Yeah.
will offer the prayer. We
Mhm.
will offer the food. We will light the candle to celebrate their memories that they give us when they are here in in on earth. So
Yeah.
for me, it's very as a Christian cat. I'm a Catholic Christian.
Yeah.
I believe that I celebrate it dearly
Hmm.
because, especially to my grandparents.
Yeah.
That's the way I can offer
Yeah.
everything. It's a offer things that it's there. There is no
Yeah.
there's no like I think, how do you say it? It's a pure offer for my ancestors
Yeah.
that I will offer a prayer
Yeah.
and light a candle and offer a food. And for me, it helps them to
Yeah.
settle wherever they are.
Yeah. See, for me, that's a good thing. Remembering the ancestors, remembering especially their qualities, what kind of things they taught us. That if you take any Japan or ancient Indians here in this country, Red Indians, they call them Native Indians in America, Australian Aborigines, they all celebrate the ancestors, you see, and then they really use this occasion to between the dead and the living mixing together, but actually
Yeah,
they also want to protect themselves from the evil spirits. that's why
that's
they
true. That's true.
that's why they want to dress up in all these things to disguise of the that's very fascinating for me when I read that, uh,
Yeah.
but you know what, I'm going to a deeper aspects of these festivals being a
Okay.
crutch to our joy. Normally, you could turn inward. That's the point. You see, you can go inward and find the natural joy we have, the natural love we have. But you know what? Modern life has become more about outside things, and that's why the love that you have is inside. The affection you
It
have,
is. It
that
is.
yeah, it
It
is
is
inside.
because this is for me. It is personal
Yeah,
love
yeah,
and devotion to my ancestor, especially
yeah,
the loved ones.
yeah,
And even if it's not November 1st or 2nd,
yeah,
I do still offer a
yeah.
prayer or a candle in any time I want
Exactly.
because
See,
That's how
it's
we
a
go from.
lineage. We came from them, so lot of our culture, lot of our habits, and all those are really absorbed by them. Like we see our grandma making a dish, we learn it. You work with her and you learn it. I had some of my best moments in my life was when I spent as a child with my granddad, who was 96-year-old. But
Wow.
he used to come walking, and also he used to take the stairs, Mabel, to come up.
That's
It,
that's wonderful.
yeah, I was very fascinated by him, how he was. You know what he did? When he was very young, he used to act as this revenue officer of several villages, like 30 villages, and he used to walk all of them every day.
Mm.
That was a big, see, when you are young, if you really exercise, you thank yourself because when you are old, you will be fine.
That's true.
Yeah, that's why kids first to about 7 years make them very active. Naturally, their energy just bouncing. Encourage them with physical activities. These days, we are putting them in front of the TV or iPad and all that. Don't do that. Let them play.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the important thing right there. So my granddad, he used to come and we used to go to movies together, and then we used to walk together. And he walked at the 96 years of age.
Wow, you know what? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to have that age, like 100 or so.
You can. No, no, you can. That is the thing. You see, like I always say, I'm 70 years old. Look at my energy and all that. That's not just to
Ah,
egotistical statement. Just to show them
mhm.
we can be like that in this age.
That's true. I believe that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
See,
It's what you.
only thing is, don't rely only on the modern medicine to cure things. No,
That's right.
you got to get the ancient systems in there. Then you'll get benefited by both of them.
Yes, yes, that's right.
Yeah. You say another thing is this inward joy we're talking about, that is there, and we have so much ignorance about it. To light up and really make the darkness disappear from our hearts. That is the purpose of this festival in India and here. Have you see your darkness as the darkness as the ignorance, and how do you fall away ignorance? You get the knowledge about your inner self. See, most of the time, what is happening in modern time is we always go outward with our mind, not inward and see what I'm thinking, what I'm desiring, what are the feelings, where are they coming from. That kind of understanding of ourselves and then calming that kind of mind level leads
Mm-hmm.
us to the real knowledge of what can teach everything.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I wanted to point out. You see, ancients and the modern scientists, what's the difference is they both are scientists in a way.
Yes, yes,
Modern scientists, we go outward with the objects for the truth.
that's true.
And then we make good things, we make technology, we make things that will enhance our comforts and or they make protection and all that. Like we know how to predict the storms, we know how severe they are, so that we can be protected from that. That's okay, but that doesn't give this anchor which is within us.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Mavel, because she's strong within, she's kind of firmly established in that own strength. She can fight for her son. Isn't it
Yes,
true?
because
Yeah, isn't it true that you are strong within? That's why you are able to fight.
yes, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
that strength comes from your love for your son.
Mm-hmm.
So
That is true.
that's what I'm talking about. There's two terms here. What is called Vijnana, Gnana in Sanskrit. Vijnana is outward knowledge, looking at things, learning mathematics, learning music, all those things, right? They are good for
Yes,
us to live better in the world. But
yes.
to be really strong inside, you got to find yourself inside. And
Yeah, yeah, that is very,
yeah,
very true.
that is where they said, calm your chattering mind. Then you can discover your inner self, which is all knowledge, all joy, all love, and then from there you come into the life. You are much better off.
Yes, yes, that's true.
So that's why I want to point out the in Indian culture, lighting the divya, they call it the pramida or the they get earthen pots. They put some oil in it and they put some
Mm.
cotton and they light it up.
Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, my coworker, she is an Indian and she
Yeah,
told me about the Diwali and
Diwali, yeah,
Halloween.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah,
what.
for me, I do love cultures.
Yeah, yeah,
Culture in different area, I do love, I respect, and it's so amazing to
yeah.
learn so different culture because
Yeah,
I do
this
understand.
light festival is so significant in India, Maival.
Mhm.
They have the sweets, they have the firecrackers, they have all the That's wonderful to have fun and light. Well, we also enjoy that. But what I
Yeah.
see there is, it's a symbol of lighting a light within ourselves, with our knowledge, inward knowledge, and displaying or displaying all the darkness outside. So every festival, not only festival, meetings also, Maival, we see that even the technology people are also what they start the meeting is where there is so much of lights on brass thing, and then they light each one by each person because it's a symbol of auspiciousness and all that, right? But that's it because
Yeah.
anybody starts anything. For example, you take your son to school, you light up a light like that, Everybody, and then also, my mom, she used to light up this in the morning and also in the evening, as though they are inviting the knowledge into our lives, right? So it's a very important symbol of Jyoti, they call it. Jyoti means light, right?
Right. Yeah.
Every festival they start that. But you know what? Many people don't know that lighting is they disappearing or ignorance and then lighting it up.
Hmm.
And they talk about this third eye, right? You must have heard about third eye. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah. You know what
yeah.
that is?
Yeah,
About
it's another different point of view
yeah, yeah.
that word. It's
Yeah,
the
let
third
me tell you
eye.
what I understood with that third light. Third light is not looking at a world with whatever limited knowledge we have, but then getting a different perspective after you open your real inner wisdom.
Yes, 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 yes.
So
Oh,
this is very important. So that Vijnana is about facts, about objects outside. That's all scientific thing. That's okay. But then human beings are not anchored in their own self. All this technology is no good. That's why ancient said, calm your mind and go inward and find out your true source of knowledge.
hmm.
And then
But
you'll be,
you know what, doctor?
yeah.
If you have, but this is what I observe.
Mm,
If you have that kind of thinking, like you are both in
yeah.
ancient and in modern time,
Yeah.
people sometimes people sometimes they think like you are weird.
No, no, no. That's the correct way to be because you want to get the good both cultures,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the one that sometimes they will, just like, why are you thinking like that? It's just like it's hard to express because first you will not understand until
Yeah.
you dig in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until you dig in, you have to dig because if you
No,
keep
I agree
talking,
with you. I totally agree with you because we need to have the scientific knowledge, we need to have the ancient wisdom, combine them to enhance our lives. Definitely.
yes,
Yeah. So it's not like you would say only scientific, rational, hard thinking. That's the way the mistake most people make in the modern society. That's why they have this mind that's constantly churning with thoughts. No peace, no quietness. Whereas if you learn how to calm yourself, how to meditate, how to really have a total state of awareness, with that kind of awareness, they went in and discovered a lot of answers for so many common questions that we have. That's where I am into. I always talk about present moment awareness after calming the mind. But then I use the thought, like I'm talking to Mabel now. I have to use communicate, right? But then
mhm,
after the talk is over, I kind of eliminate all the junk that we don't have to retain. I may
mhm,
say, okay, Mabel is agreeing with me. She also into the modern science and the ancient, and she wants to combine. That is an insight that I have about you. I will retain that. But beyond that, I don't have to remember all the little things we talked about. You see?
Yeah, 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 that's right.
Yeah, and then I
Yeah.
can keep my mind empty. Don't fill up with a lot of junk.
Yeah, that's true. Otherwise, it will be heavy, and then
Yeah,
you start getting stressed with
yeah,
with no reason. And I think, why am I stressing right now?
yeah,
This does not make sense.
yeah, yeah. You see what it is in the morning you get up and don't let your mind run, and then during the day just pay attention to everything that you are doing without really thinking a lot of things, and then in the evening throw the junk out and then go to sleep. You will be very healthy in the mind.
Yes, that's right. All right, Dr. Ram,
Yeah,
I have to go.
yeah.
Anyways, I think somebody will want to jump in, so we'll give time to them to talk. It's
Thanks.
so beautiful. You know what?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. I wish they have more people that they can share their knowledge
Yeah,
regarding
it
this.
is. It is
But
spreading.
yeah,
Yeah, people are
it
getting
is.
into this. Yeah, it is spreading.
Yeah,
Many people are
it's so
meditating now.
beautiful.
You see, many people
Uh-huh.
are meditating now, but then they don't understand what's the real purpose of meditation. I only wish they do that. You know, then they will be able to use that properly. See, that is the big secret of the ancient is they calmed their mind and they were able to get into the inner self and know themselves, and then anchored there you come to the life. That's what I was talking about. Be in awareness, not in constant churning of thought and thinking that you are such a big deal. That is the problem with the modern man, because they have this constant churning of thought without any quietness. They miss the point. If you really calm your mind, you can discover so much more about the universe. Okay, many of the scientists do that too because they kind of get the insights at the moment of quietness. They may be working on a mathematics problem and they don't have solution. When you uh, take a break and say, okay, I will come back to it, and suddenly the answer springs up and going to walk around. I have had so many times myself, you know. So any problem that you have, don't go on, thinking about it. Give it a break and then come back to it, and you have a fresh perspective. So it's a question of how can you calm your mind, and then really with awareness look at world, look at the anything that is presented to you. So that is called jnana. It's a big deal in Indian ancient wisdom. Okay, that's why they always said calm your thought, make it still, then you can touch your real self. The people who are involved in only thought all the time wanted to discover with the thought or senses, that's not going to be available to you, but it is there. When you really allow the mind to quiet and calm down, just because you are not able to do it, don't say that's not there. It is there. The people have shown and they have gone into it, and with that calm mind, they had this. Anyway, I'm going to put this movie I made on this topic on the YouTube today. Rao Kolsu, you can go there and then see the movie. It has much more details about what I wanted to convey. But basically, what I'm saying is these festivals are there for a reason, but don't use them as a crutches for your joy. Enjoy them, but don't use them only for the joy, but understand what is the significance of festival. In India, we have so many festivals, right? All year there are festivals, and if the festival is coming, we used to get new clothes. We used to get different types of goodies, the foodies, and it was really fun, and also they used to make us do certain things for each festival, and they used to tell us what is going on and all. So that has become very, very fun. And then this Diwali was a major fun because firecrackers, right? So many are there. And then I remember we used to light up the entire house with this divyas, they call it. Divya is like a earthen pot container, and they put oil in it, and they put a cotton thread, and at the end of the thread they light it up, and as long as the oil is there, it is there. So they used to put like 1,000 devyas around the building. We have big palatial house, so they used to put all that. Beautiful to look at, but they are not protected, right? So the wind used to blow them. So we had to go back and then light them up. So as children, we used to love to do that. And then, but relatively they used to stay. And and also later on they switched it to electric lights and they put all over the house. But the traditional divya has a symbolism of lighting up our own inner light so that our ignorance will be dispelled. That was the essential thing. And you see that in front of the god in temples and everywhere you go, that is a symbol of the culture. Any festival or any meeting, any project that doing it, they first light one of the divyas as an auspicious sign. But the hidden meaning is you have to dispel your ignorance by the light of knowledge. Okay, so work for the knowledge, understand that, and then get the dispelling the darkness. Then you won't have superstition, then you don't have false belief, then you have incomplete knowledge and all that. They used to say, if you discover what is inside you, the real self, you can dispel all ignorance. That means is a source of all knowledge. We couldn't understand for the life of us what it was. But as I see it now, it is very evident. That is very true. Each person has that spark within, and once you really see that, and then you see everything that perspective, then everything will be much better. For example, there's a Sanskrit thing they say, both may ekta. That means that inner spark of spirit, the godliness, whatever you call it, the soul or the energy or the love. Different people call it different ways. But that inner source of spark, you know, that is where we are all one. In the sense, it is there in all of us. So everything else is kind of attributes to that. You are a human being, you are a plant, you are a animal, or you are a anything, and then you could be different sexes in the human being, or different societal changes, different capacities of the mind, different appearances of the body, fat, lean, black, white, all those things. But beyond all that, there is one common thing for all life is that spark of light, which is the divine thing we talk about, right? So at least for me, that is the divinity. That is the symbol that's doing in Namaste. When you do Namaste, Peter, my friend, comes and says Namaste every day. That is what it is. I am really really worshipping the spirit of divinity within you, which is there in everybody. So we are identifying you by that, not by your attributes. And this is the result of that gnan I talked about. Knowledge, looking within and finding that that's already there. And then perspective is completely different. And that is the anchor they're talking about, inward anchor. And how do they get it? Meditative awareness. Meditative means what? Thought has stilled. And then with that energy, you look in. You can talk so much, but you may not be knowing the freedom of that thoughtless awareness. Once you know it, it is evident everybody can have it. But if you're really anchored in only I'm thinking, only I'm going to deep, only I'm going to explore so much because I have read so much, you have all that is really doesn't hold water in this argument. To know this, you got to do it. You got to quiet your mind. You got to use it appropriately and then take a rest from that. Okay. But what is happening now is the chartering is enhanced by continuously in the thought stream. And those people who are always in the thought stream, they may have moment of silence, but they don't have this eternal, permanent, peaceful, serene, joyful silence. Once you touch that, you don't need anybody to tell you anything. Nowadays, what is happening? They want to learn from somebody else or some book, some outsource source. or they want to learn in groups, everybody exchanging their experiences, but never stopping there and going inward by themselves and silencing it. It takes a lot of time because people are trained or conditioned to think all the time. And now, with the information age, it is getting much worse. That's why I talk about information overload, overwhelm, stress, burnout. Now, why is it happening? Because we are allowing our mind beyond the normal function of working when we want to do something. It is engaged in all the time. You don't need to. Okay. So people who are like always chattering in their mind, they know what I'm talking about. There's no peace. They may have a lot of things outwardly, but they don't have the peace within, right? And that is a modern epidemic and exacerbated by this information explosion, overload. Do we need all of that? No. In our branch, suppose I'm an expert at certain thing, go to the end of what we want to learn, but then use that as the tool. That's not you. You are something inside. You turn inward and catch that. That's why Vijnana is outward, objective, scientific knowledge. Jnana is inward self knowledge. What is happening within me? What is that spark I can stay there? That's why I always remember this and quote this too. Ramana Maharshi said, one's attention has always to be poised on one's inner self. But if you think your inner self is your personality, your ego, then you're sadly mistaken. It's not thought construct, it is beyond thought. It's a thoughtless awareness. You be in that, then you can use the thought very well, you can be focused very well, and you are not tired out by this excessive thinking. That is the problem with our modern age is we think a lot, but we don't give a break. We don't go and I enjoy my alone time because I'm very peaceful, very serene, and I enjoy the joyful state. Okay, this is not something about ego or anything. It's that just so. Once you discover that and you stay there, it looks like why didn't I do this? This is already here. I didn't have to make any attempt. Rather, I want to suppress all the mind and then I can discover it. For example, Yoga Sutras, which I'm going to talk about on my Friday meeting with my friend uh, Peter. Uh, so, Yoga Sutras, they say Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is stealing of thoughts. In that stillness, Tada Drashtu Swarupe Avasthanam. Swarupe, in that stillness, what you are, your real self, is revealed to you. Okay, otherwise you will be going towards the brain mind thing, and then it will always be like that. Okay, so understand that, still your mind and see the magic. What you are already, you will get. What you are not, you will lose. What you are not is your ego. What you are not, your personality. They are useful to do external things, but they are not you. They are your shadow. You will lose that what you are not, but you will get what you are. That's the inner self, radiating. Okay. So this Halloween Diwali festival is something to revive this deeper understanding of the ancients and really putting everything in their context. And hopefully, you get to see my movie that I made on the picture a couple of hours ago. I'm going to put the YouTube right after this talk. Then you can go and see it there. Okay. Thank you. And anybody has any questions or anything? If you want to come up, and Mabel was here, and I was very happy to talk to Mabel. And so, anybody has any questions or anything you wanted to say? Or uh, okay, Anybody on the Noom Vibe, anybody on the Instagram or Clubhouse, anybody want to come up and say something before I close? Anyway, okay. Thank you very much, and I will be seeing you again later. But just keep this perspective. What does the festival mean? Why do you have to have festival to be joyful? Why can't I discover this inner joy? What is happening with all this information overload? These are things I want to bring about, just to point out what is happening, not to say that culture is superior, this culture. It's not like that. Okay, maybe we are doing excess without thinking. Maybe we are really not making an attempt to calm it down. You wake up with the devices, you work with the devices, you work with information that is really not needed for your improvement or quality of life or how you feel about yourself and other things. You may accumulate some money, you may accumulate some things, degrees. Is that really giving you the serene, calm, quiet joy that you are potentially capable of? Ask yourself that question, and then look at these festivals with the intent what they are trying to teach. You know, so that's what I do. So all the festivals, sometimes I come and talk about the significance of that festival and what you want to learn. Not just the rituals, not just the festivities. Not You can enjoy them. That's fine. But then thinking that's all that festival is kind of a loss. Okay. Thank you. Hopefully this is a little bit enlightening. Thank you.